Sunderland fans, let's get the bollocks out the way. I'm a Newcastle fan, but I come in peace. I'm not here to extract the Michael Gray out of each and every one of you. Yes, I might have had one solitary bottle of Prague's finest this evening, but I'm feeling quite sentimental and quite balanced and quite zen. So I'm here to tell you, while I might be the last thing you want to see on this night of all nights, I'm here to tell you, while losing 2-0 to Luton Town at Kenilworth Road, not getting to the playoff final, not having that day out at Wembley, and not getting promoted to the Premier League this time around might just be a blessing in disguise for your football club. It's not the worst thing that's going to happen. You've got no need to worry. Let me tell you why this is a good thing that's happened to your football club tonight, and the main reason belongs in your own history. Let's go back, of course, to 1998, Wembley, the playoff final, that penalty shootout. It doesn't go your way. It's a heartbreaking, soul-crushing, devastating way not to go up to the Premier League. It's a lottery. We know what penalty shootouts are like, but we go to the dressing room after that penalty shootout. I was watching Mickey Gray, an interview on Under the Kosh podcast, and he was speaking about while everyone was so sad about what had just happened on the pitch, him especially after doing what he did in the penalty shootout, everyone by the end of that time in the dressing room was saying to themselves, right, let's stick together. It's happened out there. We've made a mess. We've not got promoted. Let's stick together and use this wrong as a motivation to come back the next season and be stronger, be better, and romp home with the title. Let's look at what happened in the season before and then in that 98-99 season. So 97-98, 46 played, 26 wins. The season after, 31 wins. Big jump up there. 12 draws in each campaign. That stayed the same. But the first season, 8 defeats. The second season, 3 defeats. The first season, 86 scored. The second season, 91 scored. The third season, 50 scored. The second season almost halved it. 28 conceded. Did I say scored or conceded? I don't know. 50 conceded, then 28 conceded. That got you 105 points to 90 points in that first season. A third position became first. You romped home with the title. Then, of course, when you got promoted to the Premier League, you finished 7th because that nucleus of that squad, they went through that penalty shootout devastation at the hands of Charlton Athletic. They went, right, let's right this wrong. Let's stick together. Let's merge ourselves together, mesh together, be a better team together over the next season. Then they got the promoted to the Premier League, a few bits of quality here and there, and then they finished 7th in the Premier League. And I'm looking at that Sunderland squad. 17 players are 23 years of age and under, and that's where the main shoots of hope have to be. I reckon if they all got promoted at the same time, the Premier League would have been too much too soon. And you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I know you're saying to yourself right now, Ross, promotion was there, you've got to go and take it. But I'm saying to you, 17 players, 23 years of age and under. Look at what's just happened to Southampton. Look at players like Gavin Bazunu, their number one for much of the season right up until the end of the campaign. He was in League One last season, thrusted into a number one's jersey in the Premier League. Yes, he didn't do too bad, but yes, you would have to say on balance that was too much too soon for him with such a big leap from League One to the Premier League. And you would have to say with 17 players, I'll say it again, under the age of 23, that would have been too much too soon for the majority. I'm not saying every one of them, but the majority of them, more than not, it would have been too much for them, you'd have to say, especially with them all being together. Only 3 players in this current Sunderland squad are over the age of 30, which I find astonishing in the Championship, having that much success with the old heads not being there by and large. They always say, don't these pundits, you need experienced people in the dressing room to have success. Sunderland have proved that wrong this season, and good for them for that. But then you're saying, yes, Ross, the nucleus of the squad is young, but why couldn't we do a Nottingham Forest and just spunk all of our earnings, all of our monies, all of our cash monies on people from experienced people from all around the world of football? They want to come and play in the Premier League. Let's give them Premier League football. But when you sit back, you don't want your football club to be run like that, do you? Look at Forest taking John Joe Shelvey and Chris Wood away from Newcastle United for a combined fee of 25 million. John Joe got banished from the training ground very recently. I know he's been invited back in, but that's not been a good sign. That's 10 million up the Swanee. Then Chris Wood, it feels like he hasn't played since the 2 or 3 games after he signed. That's 15 million for Chris Wood, by the way, up the Swanee as well. You don't want your football club run that way. That's only 2 players out of a squad of 47, for goodness sake. If you don't want your football club run that way, it's only going to spell disaster. Even if they stay up, I think Nottingham Forest are going to be bugging with the wage bill and stuff like that, and balancing the books and getting the squad balance right. I think they're going to be a mess, and I think Sunderland might realise, hopefully in the next few months, that might not be a bad thing going up this year, not having to spunk that much money, having all the neatness of a young squad there, and a young squad that will get better the more they play together under Tony Mowbray. Because that's the next best thing. Tony Mowbray playing fantastic style of football in the Championship with this young squad. The young lads don't care. They're not worrying too much. They're just playing nice football. They played some nice stuff tonight. I mean, I watched the last 10 minutes. I was thinking to myself, why aren't you hoofing the ball forward? But they still wanted to play, and they still wanted to play. And while it was admirable, you just think to yourself, right, we need a plan B. So that's another thing for Tony Mowbray to think about in the summer, a plan B to go along with this lovely passing style of football that's excited fans up and down the country this season. This Sunderland team sticking together for another year is going to be a good thing under Tony Mowbray. They're all going to be better players this time next year because most of them are under the age of 23, and that's the age you get better. We all know this about football, don't they? And then you've got to look at Amad Diallo. If I'm him, I'm thinking to myself and I'm saying to my agent, I've got to stay at Sunderland. Yes, I'm devastated we didn't get promoted to the Premier League tonight, but I'm looking at my career trajectory over the past few years. I got my big move to the mainland Europe when I was about 15. Then we did the stuff at Atalanta. It was all going well. Then we got the move to Manchester United, which I read was around about 40 million euros it could rise to with appearances and whatnot, which I think is a staggering amount of money to take a fresh Alan Shearer. Staggering. He loves that word, doesn't he? Then he goes to Manchester United in 2021, and since then, up until he signed for Sunderland, you would have to say he's done absolutely bugger all with his career. I did a live stream tonight for some Champions League football, which was a boring game, by the way. Yours was a lot better. And all the Rangers fans in the chat were saying that he did absolutely nothing for Rangers, but he's come to Sunderland, and there's something about working under Tony Mowbray. The system that Tony Mowbray plays, the players that Tony Mowbray has around Amad Diallo, that Amad Diallo clearly likes. He's shown class, he's shown consistency. You look at goals like that first, the free kick he got in the first leg, Premier League moments of quality, and you're looking at potential teams he could go to next year. Is he going to get a game for Manchester United? The amount of wide players and wingers they have and potential new signings they're going to have in the summer, you wouldn't think so. Is he going to get a game for a top 6 team, someone like Aston Villa? I don't think so. Is he going to drop down to the bottom of the Premier League? That means he won't be playing this sort of style of football and get that time on the ball and that development, that lovely flowing style of football that Tony Mowbray plays. That doesn't happen in the bottom half of the Premier League. So I'm thinking to myself, if I'm Amad Diallo, I've had a whirlwind through few years. Your head must be on a bloody swivel, the amount you've moved around at such a young age. Imagine doing that yourself. I struggled moving to uni, never mind going to Ivory Coast, to Europe, to Italy, to England, to Scotland, back down to England. You don't know what you're doing, do you? You don't know what the crap. Why do you watch it, some might say. But to have a settled position, a settled place to play football, a settled style, a settled manager, a settled routine, I think Amad Diallo needs another season at Sunderland. I think he got his 13 goals. I think he got it in the end this season. I think that's a very wonderful start to a nice little run for a team like Sunderland. And I think he's got to stay there. He's got to look at that disappointment, get that mantra of Mickey Gray and say, let's stick together, lads. We've got the nucleus of a young squad here. Let's stick together. Let's develop together. Let's grow together. Let's play some nice football together. Because I'm a Newcastle fan, yes, but I want all 3 teams in the North East to be in the Premier League. Now I'm supporting Middlesbrough as they go on and take Coventry tomorrow. I want them now to get promoted. The next season, I want Sunderland to romp the league, bring the Tyne-Tees derby back to the Premier League, bring the Tyne-Wear derby as well back to the Premier League. More good football in the North East. That's what we all want. So hopefully I wasn't too sarcastic. Hopefully you can see I'm coming from an honest position. Yes, I'm a Newcastle fan, but that's why Sunderland fans don't need to be too down after quite a devastating defeat away at Luton tonight. I've been Ross from Hold and Give. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. See you later.